Good evening and welcome to Kiski Area High School for tonight's Class 5A matchup between these section foes, the Kiski Area Cavaliers and the Penn Hills Indians. My name is Joe Rhodes. I'm pleased to be here with you this evening. And I'm also pleased to be with the gentleman to my left, Ryan Burns. Ryan, glad to be with you.
Glad to be here tonight, Joe. Actually a big game, not only senior night, but in terms of playoff positioning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good one. We were lucky enough to be here for that Gateway game last week. So another good one here on tap. Before we kick off the action, we want to take a chance and honor the seniors here at Kiski Area High School. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to public address announcer Mark Flem, who I believe he's got the microphone in hand. He will be the one announcing the seniors. There's a good bit of them, so stay tuned for that. Always fun to see these young men and women. Of course, the cheerleaders will be honored as well. So if you guys enjoy, and we'll be back for the tip-off here between the Cavaliers and the Indians.
They fell asleep. They put good pressure.
He applies to attend Edinburgh University to pursue Olivia has participated in cheerleading for 6 years, including varsity cheer captain. Her activities include Key Club for 3 years, Club Shout for 2 years, and Head of Media. Stage crew for 4 years, and is the art chief for this year's musical. After high school, she plans to attend Edinburgh University to major in psychology and minor in arts. Ladies and gentlemen, Olivia Brody. Summer Fairman. Summer is escorted by Christian Daybauer, along with Lee and Danielle Fairman. Summer has participated in cheerleading for 6 years. Her activities include Key Club, Active for Animals Club, Shout Club, and the National Honor Society. After high school, she plans to attend IUP and major in biology and minor in education. Ladies and gentlemen, Summer Fairman. Abby Mason. Abby is joined by her mentor, Emma Miller, along with Jennifer and Michael, Alaya, and Andrew Mason. Abby has participated in cheer for 5 years, as well as track and field for 2 years and 2 years of dance. After high school, she plans to attend college to get a business degree in social media marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, Abby Mason. Jocelyn Spencer is joined by Carter Dills, along with Michelle and Wilson Spencer. Jocelyn has participated in cheerleading for 7 years, including varsity cheer captain this season. She also participated in track and field for 1 year. Her activities include National Honor Society for 2 years, musical for 4 years, and chorus for 8 years. She was also named homecoming queen. After high school, she plans to attend Clarion University to become a physical therapist. Ladies and gentlemen, Jocelyn Spencer. Leah Ross is escorted by Giovanni Scampone, joined by Seth and Dana Ross. Leah has participated in cheerleading for 4 years. She's also been in a musical for 5 years. Leah plans to attend a university and study psychology or criminology while making time to explore the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Leah Ross. Nina Summerhill. Nina is escorted by Natalie Summerhill and joined by Tracy and Matthew Summerhill. Nina has been a member of cheerleading for 2 years, along with student council for 4 years, Shout Club for 2 years, and musical for 2 years. After high school, she plans to attend college and study environmental biology. Ladies and gentlemen, Nina Summerhill. Miranda Wakeman.
He has a lot of
Welcome back to High Top Sports Network. Joe Rhodes and Ryan Burns here on the call, about 1:36 away from tip-off here between the section leaders in Section 3 of Class 5A, the Penn Hills Indians, as they pay a visit here to, not Vandergrift, this is actually technically a Leechburg ad,
yeah.
which is interesting.
Yep.
But they're paying a visit, only 2 games left on the regular season schedule for these Cavaliers. They need to win one of these next 2, Ryan, to clinch a playoff berth, so tonight's game obviously very pivotal.
Yeah, a win tonight would go a big way into their playoff push. As I'm looking at the standings in the section now, Joe, Penn Hills sitting at 8-2. You got Gateway 7-3. Then Kiski and Franklin Region are at 5-5, and you got Woodland Hills behind them at 5-6. So a tight race here going towards the end of the season here.
Yeah, we were talking about it off the air a little bit, Ryan. Kind of parity-driven this section, and we've seen Kiski area. They're actually coming off a victory over Woodland Hills. You could kind of call that an upset, I guess. And we were here a couple nights ago when they defeated Gateway, another team that most certainly is a formidable roster, a formidable team. But certainly a win tonight would certainly give, most certainly will give them a berth in the playoffs, but also maybe a little bit of momentum too, if they're able to take down kind of one of the heavyweights here in this parity-driven section. So we are going to pause and send over to our good friend Mark Flem for the national anthem and the starting lineups presented by Ryan Bowser State Farm.
Tonight's section matchup between the Indians of Penn Hills and your Kiski area Cavaliers. Before we introduce the 2 teams, would you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Singing the anthem tonight, Shannon Brown.
And those were your starting lineups presented by Ryan Bowser State Farm of Ford City. Like a good neighbor, Ryan Bowser State Farm is there. Those were your starting lineups, and just to recap, it's Jaden Duggar, Noah Barron, George Mitchell, DeMar Kelly, and Julian Duggar for the Penn Hills Indians. As for the Kiski area Cavaliers, it will be James Pearson, Logan Johnson, Dylan Hutcherson, Joseph Lucas, and Braden Dunmeyer. So
Your senior night starting lineups.
it is indeed, and pretty cool that Corey Smith having the faith in going with that all-senior lineup, Ryan, even in a game that is certainly carries a lot of weight. As we mentioned before we went to the senior night festivities, or the national anthem and the starting lineups, that Kiski area needs to win one of their next two to clinch a spot in the Class 5A WPIAL playoffs. And tonight there'd probably be no better night than to do it here, Ryan. Obviously, senior night, beat a team that's leading the section. This season's been full of upsets in this section, so why not one more?
Yeah, for sure. And Penn Hills is the class of this section. You thought maybe it might have been Gateway, but Penn Hills beat Gateway twice, and Kiski split with Gateway. But Penn Hills, they were prone to the upset as they lost to Franklin Regional and Woodland Hills. That's a team that Kiski has split with, so this is a beatable team tonight.
Pearson able to win the tip against Jaden Duggar, and the Cavaliers will begin with the basketball here in period number 1. Packed house here at Kiski Area High School. Here's a shot up by Lucas, no good, and rebounded nicely by number 3. That, of course, DeMar Kelly. Zone defense to start for the Cavaliers. What is Penn Hills' first offensive possession? Splitting the middle there, dump pass in. He went off the foot of a Cavaliers player, but I guess on a kick.
Yeah, they got away with a kick there for sure, Joe.
So now the Cavaliers, their second offensive possession of the ball game. 0 for on their first, and that missed by Lucas, and the rebound by Kelly. Man-to-man defense for the Indians.
So you got to wonder, Joe, how long will Coach Smith keep LeBron Smith and Isaiah Gonzalez on that bench?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. We mentioned there a moment ago, all seniors to start since it was senior night. Hutcherson up with it. Little hard off the glass, no good. Nearly stolen away by Hutcherson. Look at the hustle there.
Love the hustle.
But the Indians still able to come away with it. There's a nice shot fake, baseline, skip pass, shot up by Kelly. No good by off of the iron there. And Johnson, Logan Johnson, the great two-sport athlete, the quarterback for the Cavaliers in the fall for the football team, gets the rebound, gets the Pearson. Pearson, a nice little run here of late for the Cavaliers. I think the early part of the season had a lot to do and really featured heavy doses of Isaiah Gonzalez, and Pearson really picking up a bit of load. That ball's going to be out of play. Dunmeyer trying to swat it off the defender and knock it out of bounds, but the ball had already landed there on the baseline, so ball back to the Indians. Minute 55 into this game, and we're still scoreless. A little bit of a press here.
And go back to your point on James Pearson. He was huge in that victory of the home game against Gateway. Primarily the reason that they came away with that W was his play.
Yeah, really, you see this team rounding into shape, and there's a nice shot by number 2. That is the one and only George Mitchell, the senior, 5'10". I love these rosters, Ryan. You get a home and away number listed here, and wouldn't you know it, they're both the same for each of these players.
Never know.
So the Cavaliers looking to get on the scoreboard. They trail 3-0. Shot it by Pearson. Back rim, no good. Rebounded quickly. Going to get out and go to the Indians. Number 1 with the basketball. Barron off the glass hard. Dunmeyer gets the board. He's going to look to try to take the length of the court, and a charge called there. That was pretty clear cut. And you mentioned it. We were wondering how long it was going to take. Oh, you saw.
They wanted to put themselves in.
And head coach Corey Smith dressed fresh to death as always. Looking real fresh tonight. Tells his 2 players, his usual starters, to have a seat here as we hit the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 1. Cavaliers still scoreless, and they remain in that 2-3 zone defensively.
I was going to say, Joe, the whole Kiski staff tonight just looking dapper for senior night.
I know, yeah, I was going to say it's not just exclusive to Corey Smith. Nice pass inside, good defense, missed shot, second chance opportunity up, back rim no good, and Dunmeyer with the board. That second shot was put up by Noah Barron, but caught the back iron, and the Cavaliers able to limit it to 2 shots.
Tight rim right now for Penn Hills.
There's Lucas, thinks about it. The lefty passes it off to Hutcherson, no good, rebounded by Jaden Duggar. Indians not looking to waste any time. Their transition, 3 up, back rim again, no good. Johnson just didn't see that one, and as a result, the Indians get a basket. You see Corey Smith quickly telling his normal 2 starters, LeBron Smith and Isaiah Gonzalez, to get over to the scorer's table.
Yeah, second chance points. That's going to be the death of them tonight.
And Lucas goes up for the shot. That one is blocked away. Just kind of went straight up with it. It was read immediately by Jaden Duggar, who swatted that one away, but out of bounds, and Cavaliers will have another opportunity with what is their normal starting lineup out there. So to answer your question, Ryan, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 4 minutes that the all-senior lineup was featured.
Yeah, and they kind of weathered the storm there for a while. It's just two big threes by Mitchell to start off this game.
Yeah, and the second one you could tell was a kind of a tough one to take there for Corey Smith. He reacted by quickly getting those 2 starters in.
Yeah,
it was on a second chance opportunity.
Off of giving away that offensive rebound, just a killer.
Yeah, Logan Johnson was in good position to get it, but kind of had his head turned the wrong way, and as a result, the Indians were able to get the rebound. Yeah,
the shooter, George Mitchell, coming up hobbling off the bench.
Not to be confused with former State Senator George Mitchell in the Mitchell Report for baseball.
Yep. Oh, that sounded familiar. Good pass.
That was a great pass and blocked away, and great closing speed there. He's already had 1 big block and another one now for Jaden Duggar, listed at 6'5", the senior. Very active. His closing speed there, Ryan, was mighty impressive.
Oh boy, we got a little girl on the court. She got off. But yeah, that was an outstanding pin against the board. Pearson had so much room and kind of came out of nowhere.
That length, totally visible even from up here. It's so hard sometimes to judge guys. We're so high up, and even from here, it's easy to see that Jaden Duggar is certainly probably the tallest guy out there quite easily.
He or Kelly.
And another nice jumper there, knocked down. And that was number 1, Noah Barron. He finds his way onto the score sheet now, and scoreless streak continuing. And a risky pass there, but Gonzalez able to track it down. The lefty puts up a little floater, bobbles around, and tried to tip it in was Pearson, but that one was no good. And great lengthy pass off the hands, and Penn Hill's able to save it, dump inside, and they'll pull it out here. Another great pass and a timeout. A 10-0 run to start things here for the Penn Hills Indians. Corey Smith and the Cavaliers will take a quick break. Ryan, what are you seeing out there so far?
So far, it's been Jaden Duggar defensively. On that last possession, he didn't get the block against Isaiah Gonzalez, but you got to think his presence alone kind of affected that shot. Pearson and Dunmeyer both looked like they were going for the offensive rebound, kind of got in each other's way. But Jaden Duggar defensively has just been a force to start this game.
Yeah, and I'd like to note the passing, very crisp right now for Penn Hills. The last basket, another good one there, dumping inside. And the one thing it seems like right now, Ryan, is Kiski's letting some guys get behind them there on that baseline. You got to kind of see the man, you got to see the ball and the man behind you. Yeah. And Kiski just not doing a very good job of that right now, but certainly early in this game. And it might take a little time to get in a rhythm. When you think about it, really the true starters have only been in for 1 minute 6 seconds.
Yeah, that zone there is kind of getting picked apart a little bit. We got a sub here. Isaiah Gonzalez is actually going to take a seat here, and Dominic Danino coming in the game for the Cavs.
Yeah, Gonzalez obviously not starting as he typically would, but only in there for 1 minute and 6 seconds. Danino having a nice year. This team has some really nice role players and guys that can contribute any night, and there's Danino with the board. Nice pass there by LeBron Smith. Nice shot fake up and good. What a pretty move in the post there by Dunmeyer, using that big body to create some space and get his defender off his feet with the shot fake.
Yeah, not only that, but he also got himself set, got his shoulders square to the basket, put it in.
So the Cavaliers find their way to the scoreboard. Duggar contested, and boy, that was a difficult shot. You know, if you would have just kind of kept your hands up there, I don't know if Duggar would have had a very good look, but nonetheless, he will go to the line now and shoot two. The foul is going to go against number 23 for the Cavaliers.
It's two on Dunmeyer.
Yeah, that's two on Dunmeyer, and you see Isaiah Gonzalez now back at the scores table.
You know, that one you can live with, that foul on Dunmeyer, but his first one, that charge, you know, Brayden Dunmeyer, he's not a guy you want bringing the ball up the court, which we saw whenever he had that offensive foul. You know, so that's going to put him on the bench. But like I said, that foul there, you can live with that, making it tough for Duggar.
Certainly, you lose probably maybe your best and your strongest inside presence here. Maybe for a little bit, it'll be interesting to see how Corey Smith navigates Dunmeyer in those two fouls.
He's going to press here for Penn Hills.
Gets it across the timeline, picks up his dribble, does Smith, gets it over to Nino, and Cavaliers will set the offense here with 2 minutes to play first quarter. They trail by 9. Pearson in the lane, nice job and a great block. It looked like Pearson got past him, but again, great closing speed for the Indians. This time it was number 5, Robert Thomas. And a turnover there. Nice job of getting it ahead was Nino. Here goes Gonzalez, left hand up, and he is fouled. And he will now go to the charity stripe and shoot two.
And you can tell he's a lefty, huh, Joe? He had a clear right-handed layup, but took the time to move over to the left side, but that actually caused the contact there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the sport where you typically see the handedness of a player is baseball. You don't have that on these rosters like we have here for the Cavaliers, but you saw, obviously, Isaiah Gonzalez at the line. He's a lefty. Joe Lucas, another lefty. And I want to say there's another player who is also a lefty. So an abundance of southpaws.
Got to knock down these free throws, Joe.
They're trailing by 9, and games like this late in the season could very well be decided at the free throw line. Gonzalez able to knock down 1 of 2, and now the Cavaliers are down by 8 here with about a minute and a half to go. First quarter in a wide open lane, and good. So that's the trouble sometimes with that presser. You can give up some easy baskets, but typically don't see them that way. It's usually good passing, breaks it. Yeah, that time it was just a nice drive to the basket.
Looked like a 2-2-1 there, but just went right through it there.
Gonzalez going baseline. That one poked away. He gets it back. Gets it over to Nino. Nino back to Gonzalez.
All over him.
Yeah, whistle blows. And that will even up the fouls at 3 apiece. We'll wait and see if this one's on.
Jaden Duggar.
Yeah, Duggar. That's a guy, if you're Kiski area, you'd like to see maybe getting a little bit of foul trouble here. That's just his first. But he's made his presence felt here so far, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. Not just blocking shots, but affecting shots in close. So keep an eye on that.
Nice shot fake by Lucas. The lefty puts it up, and good. You love to see a guy use such a nice fundamental move like that and then capitalize on it with a jumper from the free throw line like Lucas did there. There's another long pass and a wide open guy in the post. Ball knocked around, loose ball still. Smith comes up with it, so they got lucky there, did the Cavaliers. Another long pass to a guy down on the block.
Yeah, they're just really fortunate Duggar missed that easy shot there.
So down by 8 are the Cavaliers, and a turnover there. Smith gets it poked away. Duggar going to go the other way, and up and good. 30 seconds to play in the lead, back up to 10, or excuse me, 10. Duggar now up to 3 points. Disruptive player, certainly. There's Nino. High post to Pearson. Pearson, another extra pass, but lost by Joe Lucas. He had a great opportunity. Give credit to Pearson. Nice pass there to that right block, but off the hands of Lucas.
Got to be ready for it. Can't help but think you got the jitters. You got to travel here.
Yep, that was trying to kind of step into that shot and just one too many. And if you do that, maybe like a half second earlier when you're just kind of collecting that ball, you get away with that, but instead it is a turnover with 1.2 seconds left.
Yeah, but
probably won't hurt you.
That bobble there by Lucas, you can't help but think that Duggar's presence kind of affected him there. Long pass.
Pearson doesn't realize the time
Nope.
on the clock. He had some space if he would have caught, and that's, you can see the frustration on the face of Corey Smith, just not knowing. Doing his best, J.R. Smith, just not knowing the time on the
Yeah.
clock. Pearson, you know, I mean, that's what Corey Smith, you can tell that's what he's telling his guard down there. You got to know the time on the clock.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn it over to these cheerleaders for Penn Hills. Let them do their thing. No, we'll be back after that. And a great job. You don't typically see the opposing team's cheerleaders out there for the first little stoppage there, but that was indeed the case.
Oh, Joe, it's an excellent turnout tonight between the Penn Hills cheerleaders. You obviously have the Kiski cheerleaders, but you got the band also, which you don't see much in high school hoops.
Yeah,
Gives it a college feel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. And I was thinking to myself, Ryan, as I had to go back out to my car there before the start of the game and for that crisp winter air, and I think, I don't know if there's a better time on the schedule. I certainly love the tip-off. It's that newness. You get to see some interesting matchups as you do for the holiday tournaments as well. So those are typically two times of the basketball schedule I enjoy. But right now, it matters. Teams are kind of vying for position in the standings and a playoff berth at all. And a turnover there.
Not underneath their own hoop.
And you really look at it right now, outside of those first couple threes, the Indians getting a lot of looks down low, and another one right there off the turnover.
Good move.
It's all rattle out. Just unlucky there. And lead up to 12. Penn Hills again, very efficient here thus far. There's a deep three from the WPIAL logo off the backboard. No good, skying for the board there. Where the Indians, another deep three, this one back iron. Good box out, and what an excellent job there by Joe Lucas. I talk about it on the air all the time, Ryan, that height certainly plays a role in rebounding. You look at stats, and typically the taller guys and the post players are going to get those boards, but some shorter guys can be really great rebounders as well. Not that Lucas is short, but he was maybe a little undersized in that matchup, but a great box out allowed him to get the foul called against the Indians. A lost start the box out.
Yeah, huge credit for Lucas there. He had that play, last time down the court, saving it underneath the hoop that led to a basket, but, stick with it, keep boxing out. Ooh, what a block.
And Duggar with yet another block, a little hesitation there, and off the races and up and in. The speed right now of the Indians, the difference. Basket there was by Noah Barron, making it look easy. Kind of did a little hesitation there that got Danino guessing, and then he just kind of exploded from that spot and up and in.
Joe, that wasn't a block, that was a volleyball spike.
Yeah, I've heard that noise, but typically it's in the fall, Ryan. Here's a shot by Lucas, side rim, no good. LeBron Smith thought he was going to get to it off the hands, though, of the diving attempt by Mitchell. Pearson back into the game. And
it's a welcome sight for the Cavaliers as Jaden Duggar coming off the court here, getting a rest.
And maybe a smart move here. You got a 14-point advantage. He has a foul already. Let him kind of catch his breath. Don't risk any more fouls, and let him recharge and get back out there and get back to doing what he's been doing here so far. It's really a threat, very formidable threat on the defensive end. He only has 3 points. Another tough pass there in the paint. Jump ball will be called, and the possession arrow favors the Indians. Trying to squeeze in some tight passes here so far are the Cavaliers, Ryan.
Yeah, that wasn't a good pass there. Fortunate to come away with a jump ball, but it kind of works out as a turnover anyway as Penn Hills gets possession. They get a little crisper on the passes, which we've seen. It's kind of a theme with Kiski this year, is get in trouble with some sloppy passes.
Yeah, typically you're seeing them thrown at the length of the court and try to use some sort of, so a lot of times I see LeBron Smith and Logan Johnson doing it, and coincidentally the two quarterbacks on the football team in the fall. Now that's not taking anything away from LeBron Smith. He is so dynamic, and he trusts his abilities, certainly. But sometimes those can get you in trouble. And sometimes you just got to dribble the ball up, play that half-court game, and
Also, Kiski is going to keep possession here. The possession error was to them.
Yeah, credit to the refs there. They went over to the scores table and corrected that quickly. So a bang-up job there by the refs. And Kiski area looking to try to climb back into this one. They only have 5 points. There's Pearson skying. What a nice play there, because that was well contested by DeMar Kelly. But Pearson able to get up and get it up over the Penn Hills defender. They now trail by 12. What a pretty reverse. Hanging, spinning, and off the glass was DeMar Kelly.
Can't do much against a move like that, Joe. You just got to tip your cap where it's a double.
And Smith unable to get away with it or get it out of his hands, but Kiski might benefit from it off the glass, missing another shot from close. Here's Pearson, gets the board up around, and he was fouled for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they weren't going to call it two, Ryan. But I think that one will go against Robert Thomas, the 6'4" sophomore. And you look up and down this Penn Hills team, there's certainly some seniors on here. You know, you had Jaden Duggar, he's of course a senior, but and also George Mitchell, another starter, a senior. But another senior, DeMar Kelly, he's a junior. Julian Duggar, a starter. He is also
sophomore.
Yep, so some younger players here. And wouldn't you know it, they're a very short break for the man in
Jaden
zero.
Duggar
Yep.
coming in for, I'm guessing his brother, Julian.
Well, Julian, a 6'3" sophomore, is 2 inches shorter than his brother, so certainly some time to grow. So another missed free throw attempt, Ryan. You mentioned that early on. You got to capitalize with that clock stopped and opportunities uncontested at the free throw line.
I believe they're 2 for 4 from the line to start out with.
Really strong passing here so far for Penn Hills. Trying to find a lane there, but that zone able to clog things up. Here's a shot from outside and good, and the hot shooting for the Indians continues. That time it was Robert Thomas. Thomas with his first bucket of the game, and a reach and foul called against Thomas there. That'll be the 6th foul, so one more will send the Cavaliers to the free throw line, and they'll have the 1-and-1 for the remainder of the second quarter with 4:45 left right now.
Yeah, that's a bad foul to take right there.
Yeah, it's that's his 2nd foul. Everybody else, though, on the court right now either have none or one, so nearly a travel there. Another tough pass. Brent Smith with a couple uncharacteristic turnovers here.
Yeah, they're going to be fortunate to keep possession here. But yeah, LeBron Smith did such an excellent job to split that double team. Just another sloppy pass, trying to pass through 2 or 3 defenders.
Yeah, we have not had a chance, at least I haven't, Ryan, to see this Penn Hills team. You know, obviously see their record. That tells you they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But actually watching them out here, one of the more athletic teams I've been able to see, and one of the quicker teams at that, you're seeing some guys really get up for boards. That's what I'm noticing the most, that athleticism. Smith, cross-court pass, poked away. There's the speed now. Round the back save, numbers, and an easy bucket. Passing it backwards, not sure why. And even his teammates are kind of smiling at him and say, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was number 4, Tim Bottoms. A wide open look there.
Great name.
Yeah, as you can see, I was just looking down at the bench. His coach, that is Coach Chris Giles, not very happy with Mr. Bottoms. Yeah, we're seeing not only speed and length here from this Penn Hills team. That's a deadly combination here, Joe. Speed, length, and some touch from the outside as well.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's most notable, really great passing too.
Yeah, they're picking that 2-3 apart.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how long they'll stay with that. And it's a 2-3 as well, so you know you have 3 guys down low, and typically it kind of clogs things up down there. But again, Penn Hill's finding some good looks in the post. Smith, that one knocked away.
Backdoor cut by Isaiah.
And a late whistle there.
Oh,
and
that's going to be 2 on Duggar if that's on him.
It is indeed. So that will send number 13, Julian Duggar. You called it there a moment ago, Ryan. It's a little bit Duggar for Duggar switch. Whenever one comes out, the other comes in.
Yeah, Jaden Duggar not happy with that call, and I can't say I disagree with him. Not a lot of contact there on that drive, that backdoor cut. So any foul for the rest of this half will send the Cavaliers to the line, as Penn Hills is at 17 fouls.
So the Cavaliers now down by 16. The bucket there, or the free throw made by number 22 for the Cavaliers. That was Isaiah Gonzalez. Really, you'd like to see them, if you're a Cavaliers fan or Coach Corey Smith, you want to see him do something here before the first half. That looked like a travel, yeah, but not called. Tip and good. What an athletic play in between two players. Skying for the tip was DeMar Kelly. And that display of athleticism and strength continuing here for the Indians. As I said, you watch a lot of basketball over the course of the winter, Ryan, and this team looking really impressive. Lucas puts up the three long and brought in, and here's another quick outlet pass. Up for the oop, caught, and now the Indians will reset.
Good touch there.
And another bucket, making it look easy right now. This Indians offense, very efficient. We're now up by 20. Pearson up, well defended, but able to get it up over, I think it was number 13 who was defending him. Had his arm straight up, and Pearson doing a good job.
Yeah, good strong move there, using your body.
Shot from the corner, and wouldn't you know it, this hot shooting streak for Penn Hills continuing. A three-pointer from the corner, his first bucket was my man, Tim Bottoms.
Yeah, passed up a layup, but he'll take that three.
Gonzalez in the lane, up off the glass, no good.
He had contact there, but no call.
Corey Smith pleading with the officials. It's no avail here. It's a tough position, you got to kind of take it to the hoop. Gonzalez kind of, I say fading away, but certainly not heading in the direction of the hoop. And when that's the case, you might not get that call. Nonetheless, though, everything going Penn Hills' way right now. One minute, 52 seconds away from the halftime intermission here at Kiski Area High School. 2 games remain for the Cavaliers. They need to win one of those 2 to clinch a spot in the 5A playoffs. Certainly some amazing strides made by this program in its first season under head coach Corey Smith, but really would be the icing on the cake if they could clinch a playoff berth. And they would love nothing more than to do it here tonight against the top-tier team in Class 5A Section 3.
Yeah, for sure. They're more than capable of beating a team here like Penn Hills. I've seen them only maybe 3 or 4 times in person this year, but every time I've been very impressed with this team.
You've seen them 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Where?
Here.
Was I here?
Yeah, Christmas tournament.
You weren't here for Christmas.
I was here one of the games.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think because this team
I saw that knock game.
Ah. Oh, you're thinking of York.
I know. Knock.
Were they here?
Yeah. York and Knock.
It all blends together.
Well, you were here for 3 days. I was only here for 1.
I was here for 12 games in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I could see the confusion.
I sounded like a 50-year smoker from Staten Island.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw Kiski in that triple overtime game against Knock.
Oh, okay, yes.
But yeah, as I was saying, they're a very impressive team. Very capable, just kind of getting in their own way tonight.
And another pass inside, just as you said, Ryan, just picking apart that zone. Dumping it inside and getting some nice looks near the basket. There's a reach-in foul, and that will send LeBron Smith to the free-throw line. But again, the Cavaliers really not taking advantage of those opportunities so far. So if you want to be too optimistic, you got to be. You got to go somewhere from here. You're down by 23. You look at the scoreboard too, Ryan, equal distribution in the scoring column. You have a player with 8, you have a player with 6, another guy with 6, 3, and 4 respectively. Just the guys out on the court.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind you have Jaden Duggar on the bench.
He has at least 1 bucket, and they have also Robert Thomas who hit a 3 earlier.
another missed free throw for the Cavaliers. Just a kind of coming out of the gates here, kind of cold, Ryan. And I said early on, you know, the seniors didn't play. There was all seniors there for the first 4 minutes. Maybe it would take a little bit of time for these Cavaliers to find kind of their groove, but the Indians giving really no opportunity to crawl back into this. They've been awesome from the field, shooting a high percentage. Here's a shot right outside the elbow, rebounded by Smith. They do miss.
Yeah, I was going to say, and also whenever they have missed, they're getting offensive rebounds as well, which you're prone to whenever you're in a 2-3. You're prone to giving away offensive rebounds.
Give credit to Hutcherson there, an excellent save on the missed shot. And Pearson with a nice lunging turn and lunge towards the basket there on the right side. The Cavaliers now back down by 20. And a block.
Block for sure, yeah.
Well, kind of a delayed call there by the referee. He looked like he was signaling for it. He looked to his man under the hoop and wondering if he was going to make the call. And then that gentleman deferred to him. So that might have been a reason for that hesitation. That foul going to go against Pearson. He now has two. Yeah.
Yeah, what I saw on that one was Noah Barron kind of out of control on that take, but Pearson wasn't quite set. I feel if he was set just one more foot set, they would have given him that charge call just because of how out of control Barron was. But the way Pearson was kind of standing there, it's kind of awkward. Wasn't quite set. It's going to be a block call.
And the missed free throw there by the shooter. Noah Barron, one of the 5 starters for this Penn Hills team. And they certainly have a nice little bench to go along with a strong starting lineup. Missing the second there is Barron. Kind of coming back down to earth here in these last 2 possessions, Ryan.
Yeah, 2 straight stops here for Kiski.
Hutcherson tries to get into Lucas. Lucas out to Smith. Smith skip pass. Pearson shot fake drive up and good. Pearson
Up to 9 now.
on the back shot just over half court and no good. And that's how things will end here in the first half at Kiski Area High School. It is the Penn Hills Indians 35 and the Cavaliers 17. You know, Ryan, last minute and a half, a little bit better for the Cavaliers, as you noted there. Able to make a couple stops on the defensive end, and also Pearson kind of finding his groove and get to the hoop and get some buckets and get some fouls too called against Penn Hills. Now again, the Cavaliers unable to capitalize for the most part at the free throw line, but that's the beautiful thing about drawing fouls. Even if you miss them, you still get something out of it, and that's getting your opponent possibly in foul trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And just a barrage offensively and defensively from Penn Hills. You know, we saw early with the blocked shots and the affecting of shots by number 0, Jaden Duggar. And also on the offensive end for Penn Hills, crisp passing, just kind of picking apart. And whenever they did rarely miss, they're getting the offensive rebounds and putbacks. You know, and if you're Kiski, you gotta find some scoring here. Your top 2 players, LeBron Smith and Isaiah Gonzalez, combined 4 points, and those were all free throws. Isaiah Gonzalez 3 for 4 from the line, and Smith with only 1 free throw. So they don't. Between the 2 of them, they don't have a basket. You know, where would they be without James Pearson, who has 9 points?
That's an awesome point, Ryan. And they haven't really gotten too many good looks.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of tentative now to get down low because of Jaden Duggar. He has just been a force down there blocking shots. So you mentioned that volleyball spike he had. He's not the only one. This team certainly showing many facets of why they are the number 1 team here in this section. This game obviously meaning probably a little bit more to the Cavaliers. Their playoff hopes are riding on these last 2 games, whereas Penn Hills kind of has it wrapped up. I don't know, they don't have the section wrapped up.
No, they have a game lead on Gateway, so Kiski can be doing Gateway a favor tonight if they are able to pull off the upset, but they got some work to do. You know, 2 things I'm wondering what's going to happen offensively for Kiski. Are they going to start shooting threes? I'm not sure if that's part of their game. You know, I've only seen them a few times this year. When I have seen them, 3-point shooting was not part of their, repertoire. You know, I'm certain they have some athletes that can shoot, but they're probably gonna need some threes. And defensively, are they gonna stay in that 2-3 zone, or are they gonna, go to a man? You wonder maybe Corey Smith, head coach for Kiski, maybe thought, let's go zone because we don't really match up with them well, but that zone kind of getting picked apart here that first half.
Yeah, great points there, Ryan. And I think to your question about the zone, I don't know how you fare better running a man at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe you run a different form of the zone, trying maybe like a 1-3-1
or a trapping zone.
Right, and that's a great thing to look for here as we come out of the intermission. What will Corey Smith have in his bag of tricks? Because he's going to need a lot of them here as his team trails by 18 points here on senior night at Kiski Area High School. So we're going to mute out for a second. I'm going to try to find some information to share with you folks before we head into the second half of this contest here at Kiski Area High School. I want to thank you for taking your evening to spend it with us here on High Top Sports Network. I want to urge you, though, in the meantime, hop on to hightopsportsnetwork.com, look at some of the upcoming broadcasts, and also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us, like us on there to make sure you keep up to date with all the happenings, our broadcast, some videos we do, some other forms of content. As I always say, get on there so you can see when your favorite team plays next here on High Top Sports Network. So again, we're going to mute out for a moment, and we will be back momentarily here on HTSN. And welcome back to High Top Sports Network, the best broadcast provider of high school sports in Western Pennsylvania, I might add. In my opinion, as Ryan sprints off. I just want to take a quick moment here to thank a couple of our wonderful sponsors. We are so appreciative of these sponsors, and I always say we urge you to use these sponsors because they believe in your student athletes out there, and they are the ones that fund us so we can bring you the action like we are right here tonight at Kiski Area High School. They're not just providing us financial and monetary payment to advertise themselves. They really do it more often than not to make sure that they are showing their support of these local teams and these local athletes. And one company that certainly we're proud to have on our network and goes by that belief is TGIF Solutions, the official social media sponsor of High Top Sports Network. TGIF Solutions is the home of the Shellhammer Atwood Agency and the Brad Johnson Agency, the Vody Agency, and the McMahon Brothers Insurance. They can, of course, assist you and your loved ones with any insurance need, big or small. TGIF Solutions specializes in all types of insurance, whether it be auto, home, family, business, farm, and commercial insurance. Make sure you do visit them online. A little bit of a tricky web address. It's tgif.solutions. So no .com in there. It's just tgif.solutions. And TGIF Solutions, insurance for what matters. We'd also like to thank Sprankle's Neighborhood Market, the home of so many wonderful deals, whether you're checking out their meat selection, sushi madness, which Ryan, I'll certainly be going to tomorrow every Wednesday, $5 sushi bowls. You can't beat that deal. And of course, we're kind of landlocked here in Pennsylvania, and you wonder, how are they getting fresh fish? Sprankles, they go above and beyond. They have actual sushi chefs in-house making things constantly. And so make sure you go on Wednesday to see the entire variety of what they have to offer. I know that we here at High Top Sports Network, when we have an opportunity and our days are open, we definitely head to Sprankle's Neighborhood Market, whether it be in Saxonburg, Leechburg, or Katanning, to pick up their delicious sushi bowls. But, of course, Ryan, it's the place where you can always hashtag
Save on meat.
That's right. So we thank the fine folks at Sprankle's Neighborhood Market. Also would like to thank Olson Chiropractic, Dr. Ryan Olson in West Katanning, the father of the terrific quarterback from Armstrong. And, I don't want to just limit it to football. Caden Olson having a great year on the hardwood this year, too. But his father, of course, is Dr. Ryan Olson of Olson Chiropractic. When the aches and pains of everyday life have you stuck on the sidelines, make sure to visit the caring professionals at Olson Chiropractic, located at 159 Butler Road, Suite 2A in West Katanning today. Dr. Ryan Olson and his experienced staff will get you back in the game in no time. It's about 24 seconds until we kick things off. Things speeding right along here, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure.
Despite several fouls. Quick halftime and everything here. We joke and we say everything at Kiski area runs on Peterman time. Meaning Athletic Director John Peterman, not afraid to trim a couple seconds off a halftime or a pregame. Or we found that out at the Christmas tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Great guy, always very accommodating to us. We're very fortunate to be able to deal with John Peterman, the athletic director here at Kiski area. He is a tremendous man and just always asking us what we need, letting us know anything of importance. And that's not always common, believe it or not. Some athletic directors, whether they're too busy or what the case may be, John Peterman is one of the best. And we are glad to deal with that gentleman over there, sitting under far side under the exit, near the exits there at the right side of your screen. Terrific guy. And again, very pleased to be able to deal with him on a nearly daily basis. So third quarter action about to get underway. 35-17 the score. Penn Hills in control here. Let's see again. We talked about it at halftime, Ryan. What adjustments will Corey Smith and this Cavaliers team make? We know that Corey made one adjustment. That's taking off the jacket.
Yeah. He's got his normal starters in there now.
Yeah.
And the 2-3. But you're gonna have to trap and put pressure on that 2-3. Otherwise, Penn Hills will be content to just sit back and let time go off.
Yeah, they were sagging a little bit, not guarding too far outside the arc, but a little bit more aggressive here. And wouldn't you know it, a tough little runner there. Up and good. Now up to 8 points after that basket is number 3, DeMar Kelly. Again, balanced scoring for this Penn Hills team. It's not just one guy that's really dominating or really standing out too much more than anyone else. This team is really kind of the epitome of the team.
Yeah, it's been not so much the fault of Kiski tonight. It's just Penn Hills is a very, very good team. You can wonder, how did they lose to Franklin Regional and Woodland Hills?
What a tough shot there by Isaiah Gonzalez. A very difficult angle to get that off the glass without it hitting too hard. Nice touch for the runner. And he's now up to 5 points.
That's his first basket.
Oh, no, it is. I apologize. Second chance opportunity, and rebounded by Dunmeyer. We didn't see Dunmeyer for a good portion of that first half after he picked up he got himself into foul trouble, rather.
Get a travel there. He got stuck.
Yeah, that's. I think he was hoping for a foul there, but just good defense. Really, no reaching, just sort of following him to the hoop, and strength again, the athleticism. This is not a small team, this Penn Hills roster, and that certainly helps you in moments like that where you're able to body up someone and don't really have to do much to do it.
Yeah, Joe, it's an 18-point lead here. Cavaliers are going to have to play a near perfect second half to come up with a win here, and that's not going to help. But that will, as they get the turnover back.
Yeah, and Ryan, you kind of alluded to this. You wondered if it was going to be the case. You know, they did stay in the zone, have the Cavaliers, but trapping a little bit more here, trying to really collapse certain situations on the ball handler. Saw it right there, and that might have helped force that errant pass, or at least kind of block the view. Here's a second chance. Dunmeyer gets it out to Isaiah Gonzalez. Here's LeBron Smith. Great pass to Dunmeyer, and the foul. LeBron Smith. We mentioned it. He's just one of those passers where he's going to have his moments where, he'll have a turnover or two, and Coach Corey Smith want to pull his hair out, but then he does something like that, give you a nice no-look dish to the opposite block, and get the opponent to. They're going to yell at Corey Smith for LeBron Smith for took his shirt off and not allowed.
Yeah. Well, it's already done, so.
Yeah, what's done is done. Sometimes these rules, they feel very archaic.
Yeah.
Dunmeyer missed a free throw, and the shooting woes from the line continuing now for the Cavaliers here in the second half. A theme that the Cavaliers, I'm sure, wanted to change here over these final 16 minutes, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. You got to take advantage of it, and he misses the second.
Excellent box out by Jaden Duggar. He can really take up a lot of space. We've seen cover a lot of ground as well. A couple of those blocks, he just tracked him down. Wow. And if Pearson doesn't get in the way of that, that's a reverse dunk. Reverse alley-oop.
Yeah, I actually just taking a look down at Duggar as you were talking about him, and I saw him point up. And I thought, here we go.
And despite the hustle of the Cavaliers there, that one's going to go off, I think, LeBron Smith, they're going to say, and back to Penn Hills. And, the one thing I would really like to see here upon conclusion of this one, Ryan, if the trend continues or the rebounding numbers, it seems like it's heavily in favor of the Indians right now.
Oh, for sure. Offensively and defensively. Whenever Penn Hills does have that rare miss, it almost seems like every time they're getting a second chance. And it's we saw one last possession, but not too many offensive rebounds for the Cavaliers.
I would say that Penn Hills has been benefiting from second chance opportunities, and they have at times, but they have been shooting such a high percentage from the field. They haven't really had to go to the second chance here too often. Nice shot fake there, baseline jumper up and good. And just right on cue, knocking down another mid-range jumper, this time coming from DeMar Kelly. He's up to 10 points, reaching double figures. Surprisingly, I think that is the first player on this team to reach double figures. You got 41 points on the board at this point. That equal distribution. Not sure if I've seen a team, Ryan, able to spread the scoring out quite like this Penn Hills team.
Yeah, you're going to be looking at maybe 2-3 guys getting double figures when it's all said and done tonight.
Dunmeyer nearly losing that one, gets it to the corner somehow to Gonzalez, who gets it to Pearson. Now Cavaliers will reset with the ball in the hands of, I guess, the point guard, LeBron Smith, trying to cut through, kicks it out. Runner up by Gonzalez, off the mark. Dunmeyer gets it back. And a late whistle there.
I think they're going to get Dunmeyer on the foul, so that basket will not count.
I would imagine he might be coming out here. That his third? Yeah, that will be his third. So Corey Smith's going to roll with him here and just kind of hope that he plays it safe. But knowing Braden Dunmeyer like we do, he's kind of one of those high motor guys.
Yeah, they kind of need his energy and his physical presence out there, but sometimes it's a bit too much.
And as we say that, Logan Johnson heads to the scorer's table. I would imagine he's going to be coming in for the aforementioned Braden Dunmeyer. really, again, sat for quite some time there towards the latter part of the first half. Good ball movement again by the Indians. Shot from the corner, 3 up and good. My, oh my. Shooting the lights out here tonight are the Indians of Penn Hills. Putting on a display from the field, kind of taking it inside like they have at times in long stretches in the first half, and really to start this second half and the entirety of this third quarter, they've been hitting a lot of mid-range jumpers off the dribble as well, which is one of the harder shots, I think, to kind of master, especially at the high school level.
Yep. Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's bad defense at all by the Cavs. It's just better offense.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Give credit to the Indians. You know, I love a nice, fundamentally sound game. You're seeing a lot of shot fakes. You're seeing a lot of pass fakes and things of the sort that are keeping the Cavaliers just off balance enough. A shot by Gonzalez off the mark, a little bit long, and coming down with the rebound. One of the Indians, 3-point attempt in the corner and transition, no good, and getting his own board was number 4, my man Timothy Bottoms.
You got a rare miss there from DeMar Kelly.
Oh, LeBron Smith knows it. And just a wasted opportunity. Thought he had a lane, and as these Indians are very good at doing, they can close those lanes quickly, those passing lanes. And that was the case there, and it made LeBron Smith double dribble. So 2:36. The Cavaliers trail by 23. We're certainly aware of how good this Penn Hills team is, Ryan, but I don't know if I expected it to be this, dare I say, one-sided. But that really has a lot to do, as you said a moment ago, with how well these Indians are playing. And
oh, another lob.
yeah,
Great job to save it.
some terrific hands, too, on some of these tough passes and the receptions on him. Loose ball. Once you know it, Duggar gets it, but I think they're going to call him for a timeout. That's an excellent play there by the head coach, Chris Giles, to get that one. It looked like his star big man, Jaden Duggar, was going to.
Hey, he was in trouble there, but excellent timeout.
Yeah, the coach's timeout, as we call them, those ones that save your team like that. So really, we talked about it at halftime, Ryan, what adjustments would be made, and really what adjustments have you seen from both sides? And from my vantage point, really kind of picking up where we left off in the first half.
Yeah, it's been more of the same here for Penn Hills, except, Jaden Duggar's not in foul trouble, so he's kind of just running wild out there. Caught a lob earlier and almost caught another one there. Didn't quite work out, but they got the ball back and they have possession now. And for Kiski's side, just too many turnovers already. I said they have to play a pretty much perfect game, and it's been far from that.
Yeah, and I would I think it's fair to say that if Penn Hills keeps up this percentage from the field shooting the basketball, that they're going to come away with a W here tonight. So I think that's going to be a big part of any kind of comeback bid that they got to hope that the Cavaliers, that is, they have to hope that stuff like what just happened there, a turnover, and those happen more frequently. Johnson puts it up, no good, and the offensive rebound, just like that. Foul called. Nice job by Pearson to get back. The full court pass, we talked about it, that Kiski often does that, and we've seen it from Penn Hills here tonight. But they've executed it quite well. Looking like NFL passes and hitting receivers right in the hands, and right there, another case of that is Duggar tried to put down the slam, but Pearson draws the foul.
Yeah, and I think Penn Hills coach Chris Giles did not like that foul at all. Maybe he wanted an intentional, but Pearson going for the ball, clearly.
Yeah.
That's an excellent job by him to hustling back and not allowing that dunk.
Yeah, anybody who's ever tried to dunk a basketball, you do what he did there. You grab the rim, and sometimes when you're in that motion, you're going forward so quickly that your momentum's carrying you, and you kind of do stumble like that. You do end up kind of landing somewhat on your heels and on your back.
Yeah, I guess the refs are going to talk it over, but I don't see that being intentional at all.
Absolutely not.
It just looked bad because of the way he landed and fell.
Yeah. Like I said, you're going that direction. You hold onto the rim, therefore it's going to kind of propel you and kick your feet out in front of you like that. Not that I could dunk like Jaden Duggar. I could throw it down on my day, but third place in the Slippery Rock dunk competition back in the day, Ryan,
Oh,
if
wow.
you believe that. Yeah, that's unfortunately I don't have that footage. That's one of my big regrets in life. Maybe somebody has that out there, but I didn't have that kind of hops.
Very few people do. Mr. Duggar, very impressive. Very
Does it-
impressed with him.
Did we see whether or not he's playing somewhere next year? I didn't know if we saw in that story. We doing a little research before this one. We were kind of in a hurry here today at High Top Sports Network because we also mentioned that High Top Sports Network is responsible for the sports department of the Leader Times news publication in Katanning, almost 2-century-old newspaper. And so Corey Smith making his way out there. He's like, I'm getting in here.
Yeah, it doesn't say in that article whether he's planning to play somewhere next year, but you would think he's getting some looks.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
probably-
averaging a double-double, it looks like.
And, you know, he doesn't try to play outside of himself. You look at those numbers, and you kind of see how imposing he is and just his entire skill set. You might think, you know, just 10 points per game. But he does a lot of those other things that really impact the game. Some of those not those that show up in the stat sheet as we are watching paint dry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Joe, I'm not sure I've seen such a lengthy discussion about a foul. I think they're going to get a technical on
Giles.
Yeah, because he did kind of run out onto the court after that foul.
Interesting.
We'll have to get Mr. Flem to verify this for us.
We unfortunately don't have the resources or money like some of these NFL outfits that can have those former retired referees come on the air and talk about what they saw.
And we don't have a Gene Steratore.
We do not have a Gene Steratore. But trying to think of the gentleman that the guy with the guns, they always call him Guns. He's from Western PA. Maybe he can give us some help. What are you looking for there, Ryan?
I was just listening to Mr. Flem. I think they have a technical on number 2, George Mitchell. She's sitting on the bench.
Maybe because he might have came on the court, maybe?
Yeah, but there also must have been a technical on Kiski as Jaden Duggar's shooting technical free throws, unless these are the personal foul
I
free
think
throws.
that's what they might be because, well, that wouldn't make any sense, though, because
I think he's going to shoot the personal foul free throws, and then it'll be the technical for Kiski.
yeah, I think that is correct because you see the referee making his way to.
So those are the fouls on the, or those are the free throws for the Pearson foul. I think these are the technical free throws.
And shooting the technical foul will be lefty Isaiah Gonzalez. We're in a double deuce. Knocks down the first, a welcome sight for the Cavaliers. Second one good, and one of those few opportunities tonight, Ryan, that they've been able to go 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think he's 5 for 6 from the line. Everybody else seems to be struggling.
Yeah, they're really major contributors here tonight for the Cavaliers have been Pearson and Gonzalez, both with 9 points apiece. Johnson, three-pointer up, no good, a little long on the rebound. That one dislodged, the hustle there. LeBron Smith up, disrupts the shot, and he comes down with the rebound. Nice defense there by number 2, LeBron Smith. He's gonna go the other direction. A little hesitation.
Pass.
Nice dump off, oh, no good. You know, you could have called the foul there. It looked like LeBron got bumped even further. You know, he was heading for that baseline, but a little bump really sent him, I'm not saying careening, that's a little dramatic, but certainly propelled him a little bit more than he already was. No foul, they'll play on.
2 big misses, though. That 3 missed by Johnson and that miss by Pearson.
Three-pointer up, first 3 in a while for the Indians. And poked away. That speed, once again, benefiting the Indians as Noah Barron able to poke that one out from behind. I was about to say that Kiski was kind of taking a page out of the Penn Hills book, getting that rebound and quickly getting it out to the outlet man and trying to make something happen in transition. But again, the speed killing the night.
Oh, that's a good out-of-bounds play for that open 3. Just didn't knock it down. There's 2 open looks there by Logan Johnson. This would have been huge.
Yeah, it's as I always say at this kind of juncture in the game, and a score like this, if there's a moment when you just kind of got to get out and go, and got to show that you got to kind of show the other team that you have what it takes to come back in. You got to kind of display it and show some sign, and maybe a shot like that could be the beginning of that, but unfortunately for the Cavaliers, they miss it, and then Penn Hills gets the rebound. They'll hold for the last shot here of quarter number 3, 10 seconds on the clock. 6 seconds left. Quick pass, shot from the wing, no good by number 4. My main man, Tim Bottoms, no good, and that's how things will end here in quarter number 3. The score, the visiting Penn Hills Indians 45, and the home Kiski Cavaliers 23 on this High Top Sports Network presentation. I also want to mention, we tell you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and obviously that's always a good move, so you can see what all the happenings are, not just the broadcast, but we do video interviews with some athletes around the area, coaches and people of the sort. I don't know if you knew this, Ryan, we had an interview with Phil Bork.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It was a very awesome experience there. He told some really cool stories. That was about this time last year. But Borky, gracious with his time, and really told some stories that I'm not sure he might have shared anywhere else. So
that's cool.
Make sure you find us on YouTube, I guess I should say as well. That interview on there, myself and another high topper, Josh Schreckengost, were able to do that interview. It was really a cool experience, but just as cool, we're getting to talk to a lot of these student athletes, because as I always say, high school athletics, in my opinion, is the best form of sport.
For sure, completely agree.
They ain't making big bucks, nor are the coaches.
Yeah, so Joe, you saw there an opportunity for Kiski to kind of chip back into the lead a little bit after that technical whole situation. Kiski had numerous possessions where they had a couple missed threes, a missed shot in close by Pearson. Kind of could have cut into that lead, because after those technical free throws, Penn Hills didn't score.
Yeah, excellent point. And it seems like when those opportunities to capitalize have been there, the Cavaliers just not able to knock down the shot. You saw a couple close shots near the basket that Kiski certainly had pretty clean looks at, but just couldn't make them. Seen a couple balls glance off the hands of the intended targets, and it's kind of been the story of the night. And Johnson able to knock down the tray and get this one back within or under 20 points. That's Johnson's first bucket of the game.
Yeah, you love to see that. He'd taken a couple there at the end of the third quarter. A couple open looks kind of go in and out there. That's got to give him confidence for the rest of the game. Keep shooting it.
Yeah, excellent point. Once again, Ryan, you are a thesaurus of basketball knowledge, my friend.
I don't know about that.
Certainly enjoy doing these games with you, and we're making a habit of doing these Kiski games together. We were actually talking to a couple folks here about how we love this venue. Certainly one of the better press boxes, I think, in the WPIAL. They're kind of not too high like some press boxes. There's a bathroom up here. Mm-hmm. It's very a wide press box.
Yeah, easy to get to.
Very,
unlike at Armstrong.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I will not complain about a press box. If you have one, I will be pleased, because we do broadcast from bleachers sometimes. I actually made a table. I think I mentioned that to you. I made a table yesterday built for bleachers, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe I'll post a picture of my carpentry work.
So we're going to get a press out of that timeout here. First half, Penn Hills had no problems with the press as they turned it into instant offense here, but a little trouble here.
Yeah, great point, because they did make some lengthy passes that resulted in some close looks at the basket, and they did capitalize on those. So
Kiski didn't get the steal there, but they made it tough to get Penn Hills into their offense.
And a man defense with that, Ryan.
Yep.
So the zone no more here with 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and the Cavaliers trailing by 19. Not to beat a dead horse here, but the Cavaliers, with 2 games remaining, this being one of them, they need to win one of those two to clinch a spot in the Class 5A playoffs. Otherwise, they will be spending the postseason maybe watching on High Top Sports Network.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
That was a timeout, actually. It looked like by ref pointed to number 3, Damar Kelly. who was away from the play. Kind of a veteran move there
Was.
as he saw his teammate was in trouble.
A veteran move indeed by the 6'4" junior. A couple really, just so many compliments to make about this Penn Hills team. They've even called timeouts at really smart moments to avoid turnovers or any kind of costly mistakes. And another one right there. So, again, this Penn Hills team, everything as advertised, showing why they are in first place in Class 5A and why they will be a team that I'm sure any postseason bound club would prefer not to see on their bracket.
Yeah, for sure. And as I said before, it's kind of surprising to look at their schedule and see losses to Franklin Regional, who is, I believe, 500 in the conference, and Woodland Hills as well. But that's just like we were saying, that just shows how much parity there is in this section.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, it's interesting when you see those kind of sections. I would compare it to the section in which the Kiski girls played in last year, where you had Armstrong, you had Hampton, Mars, and is it Plum, I want to say? I think
so.
Yeah, who all, I think, did they all tie for the section, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong there. Whatever the case, that was a very balanced section. I think that the Riverhawks, who we covered quite often, split their matchups with everybody at least, or at least earned a split, rather. Johnson whistled for the foul there.
Kind of a nickel and dimer, if you ask me, but
yeah, I've seen more contact here at moments that weren't whistled, so. Yeah, it's just Johnson's first foul, so he's done a good job of playing it kind of safe here.
staying in that man-to-man.
Yeah, you probably figure, I mean, oof. There's a travel, but it's really hard to create turnovers when you are in that zone unless you're going to play that trapping style which you mentioned earlier. And a foul is going to go against the Cavaliers. It doesn't matter, the old saying, by land, by water, by air. The Penn Hills Indians able to do it all different kinds of ways, knocking down threes, shooting a really great percentage from the field, from deep as well as from mid-range, and also able to get to the bucket quite often. An instance of that right there, and able to draw the foul. Missing the second of those two free throws was Noah Barron. As we hit the 6-minute mark here in quarter number 4, the Cavaliers trailing the Indians by 20. That one no good, and great position by Duggar. He's tall, he's got some length to him, and there's another nice drive to the basket, just blowing past the defense.
Oh, is he quick?
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times out of him, and then a bobble and out of bounds, and that right there, Ryan, I think is kind of a microcosm of this game. Pass to the wing and unable to handle it was the senior, Joseph Lucas. Or Joe.
We'll be taking a seat here.
I'm a frequent shopper of Trader Horn. No, they're not a sponsor, but they always ask you for your phone number, and then they start calling you by name, which is interesting. I'm not sure why they do that, but they always call me Joseph, and my response is, yeah, according to my mom.
Ooh, good move.
Good move indeed, and reach in there, I think, against Hutcherson, the senior.
Yeah, Kelly just too big on that possession.
It should be noted, Braden Dunmeyer, who's battled foul trouble here throughout this contest, has been on the bench for a lengthy period of time once again, just as the case was towards the end of the first half, as Kelly able to knock down the first free throw and to knock down the second. Great senior. And the Indians continue to put on what is a very efficient and impressive display here. That puts Kelly up to 12 points. He's I'm gonna say he's the leading scorer, so. From your vantage point, Ryan, you've seen a lot of basketball this season. Have you seen a team as balanced as this Penn Hills team in terms of just kind of contributions, not just in points, but everybody on the roster kind of chipping in to do a little bit of everything.
I saw a little bit of that from Gateway a couple Fridays ago here whenever Kiski was able to come out with a win. What's so surprising about tonight's score is Kiski not only able to stay with Gateway, but they beat them. You know, they lost to him the following Monday. But, yeah, just very impressed with this Penn Hills team. You know, they're up 20-plus, 22 points here against a good playoff Kiski team.
LeBrin Smith, after a bucket at the other end, able to block that one away. Should be noted, Smith there at the 5-minute mark, getting his first field goal of the game. He's not necessarily maybe one of the primary scorers, but you know, with his kind of elusiveness and ball handling skills, he'll get in the lane. And a big block there by Smith. They're going to whistle it.
Might not be against Smith. It might be against Pearson. No, it is Smith.
Wow. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, it looked very clean to me.
When it rains, it pours. And that's seemingly the case here for the Cavaliers. Can't even buy a call there and what appeared to be a clean block. Nonetheless.
You're going to get Braden Dunmeyer back into the game.
Yeah. Dunmeyer comes in along with number 13 for the Indians. That, of course, is Julian Duggar. A member of the Duggar duo.
Quite the duo.
And you know, it's interesting. I don't know, outside of them starting together, they have not spent a lot of time on the court at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, again, taking care of business at the charity stripe. The Indians, they
careful with those skip passes against that lengthy team.
Back up by 24. Logan Johnson from that same spot he hit one a moment ago. No good, and in traffic and climbing the ladder for that one. Number 13, Julian Duggar, newly entered, missed shot. Dunmeyer with the board, and right there you just kind of see what this team misses when Dunmeyer is out. That physicality in the post, and the foul on the floor. So not in the act of shooting.
He's lining up like he's going to shoot. Nope, but it will be out of bounds. Foul on the floor.
You know, Ryan, one of my favorite things in the world?
What's that?
Fast internet. Because we had the polar opposite yesterday here on iTop Sports Network. Logan Johnson up and in, and you kind of, I hate to say it, but you see the Penn Hills defense kind of just not as aggressive at moments like that. No reason to kind of foul and extend this game.
Being up 32 helps.
Yeah, it certainly does. And another inside look from a excellent pass by the Indians. What don't they do, Ryan?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only knock we could come up with in the first half was too many fouls, but that really didn't come back to bite them at all. Like I said, it's, you know, they're doing this against a good team, a playoff caliber team in the Kiski area.
And turnover here, Indians come away with the basketball. You know, we were talking about the Cavaliers, you know, this and the parity of which Class 5A Section 3 kind of exists within, and you know, kind of some interesting results for them. They've either kind of gotten the doors blown off them or blown the doors off people, or had really close games. It's not like they lost by like 6 anywhere.
Yeah.
And then getting hit in the eye there, looking over at the ref for a call. I don't think you're going to get one in that kind of moment. The action go to hoop. It didn't look blatant, but Julian Duggar not pleased. And then Corey Smith immediately calls a timeout. Ryan will quickly mention, as you see on our scoreboard, that it's a nice little spot up there. Got to see that lovely High Top Sports Network shoe, and your logo too could go up there. And if you would like to be a sponsor here on High Top Sports Network, and got certainly some basketball ahead of us, even though we're heading into the final stretch, the second to last game here for the Cavaliers. The last game here for the Cavaliers, so this will conclude our broadcast schedule, at least for the boys. But if you would like to be a sponsor for any of our games here on High Top Sports Network, and show your support for local sports teams and programs, you can reach out to us at our email. I think would probably be the best way. And that, of course, is staff@hightopsportsnetwork.com. And we do have a phone number. And you know what, Ryan? I'm embarrassed to admit this. I do not know it by heart.
I didn't know you had a phone number.
We do. We're big time. We don't have a Gmail either. It's at hightopsportsnetwork.com. I feel important with that.
Very professional.
Yep. It's better than an account like a Hotmail.
Yeah.
I might go back to Hotmail.
So we're going to see a press here for Kiski, but like you said, kind of carved that up in the first half to Penn Hills.
Spin, dribble, and just the lengthy passes that they're able to execute. Another one there.
Noah Barron, he is quick.
Yeah, he's up to 13 points now. I almost wish the scoreboard here showed you all the players in the roster, not just the 5 on the court. And Logan Johnson getting to the bucket and drawing the foul. So he'll go to the line and try to complete the 3-point play. The foul is called against Kelly, his second, to go along with his 14 points.
Yeah, Joe, this Penn Hills team, only 3 losses all season. As we mentioned, those 2 kind of upset losses in the section, and they also lost recently to North Allegheny.
And Dunmeyer,
big-time school.
Stepping in, nice look there by Dunmeyer and Smith on the receiving end. Dunmeyer, not just a force down low and a big body to get some boards. An excellent pass there by the senior, Edinburgh bound, Braden Dunmeyer.
Nice. So I think Kiski, at this point, 2 minutes left. I want to get this under 20. Hope, ideally in the 10-point range here to end this game. 20-point deficit with 2 minutes. It's a little too much to ask to overcome, but kind of want to make a little bit of a run here to make this a respectable final.
Yeah, the 3 losses for the Cavaliers, for the Indians, a combined 19 points. As you mentioned there, Ryan, they lost 3 games. Their first came on January 4th, so they didn't lose at all in 2021. And there's a shot by the senior, Joe Lucas. And so better late than never. The shooting kind of heating up for the Cavaliers, just as I said, just a little too late, Ryan.
Yeah, you don't know if that contributes to the Indians kind of letting off the gas a little bit, but credit to hitting that open shot there, Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas has a really pretty stroke, and we saw early on in the season. I think kind of the turn of the new year, we saw him making a little bit of an impact and kind of find his stroke. But I want to quickly go back to what we were talking about a moment ago. Their first loss came on January 4th to Franklin Regional, as you mentioned, is certainly an upset there. The Panthers able to knock off the Indians by a score of 59-55. Believe it or not, Ryan, that was their tightest loss to the Panthers. I guess it kind of makes sense when you look at the other 2 teams they were defeated by. The next loss came, of course, later in the month, January 18th, at the hands of the Woodland Hills Wolverines by a score of 52-47, so a 5-point loss. And that game was at Woodland Hills, as was the previous game I mentioned there at Franklin Regional, and then they recently lost to Montour by a score of 50-40. How this team only scored 40 points.
That was North Allegheny at the tournament at Montour.
I apologize, yes.
I was looking at that tournament. It's some big-time programs in that tournament. But, yeah, the 2 teams in the section they lost to, Woodland Hills and Franklin Regional, Cavaliers split with both of those teams. So this was definitely a winnable game tonight for the Cavaliers. They just, pretty much had to play mistake-free. They did not do that tonight.
So with 1:30 left, it's safe to say that the Indians will come away with the victory. And
yeah, you got a couple seniors out there for Kiski that didn't start.
Yeah, let's make note of that. That's number 44. That, of course, apologize, my roster.
Joseph Miller.
Yeah, Joseph Miller in the game.
Also number 11, Nicholas Boylstein.
It's great to see those young men out there.
Yeah. Also should be mentioned that Jason Flem is out with an injury for Kiski. He was a starter earlier in the year, so that definitely does not help having a starter out for the year.
Yeah, Jason, I know. I think he's out there listening. Dad told me he was mad we didn't do JV. So Jason, we apologize. Been a busy time of the year for us, my man, and certainly been thinking about you. You've been in our thoughts here at High Top. We certainly miss watching you play. Got that pretty stroke, and can't wait to watch you back out in the hardwood next year. So get better soon, my man, and come back stronger than ever. We can't wait to see you.
Joe, I wanted to ask, do you think Penn Hills alumni Aaron Donald is watching tonight, maybe?
I'm going to venture to guess he is. Maybe I sent him a link to the game.
He might have an important game coming up.
Is it as important as this one?
Might be. Super Bowl?
What's not as important is the next game for the Cavaliers. Talk about a segue right there.
Yeah.
There goes Braden Dunmeyer, and I'm going to let that young man get the ovation for him be heard through. But I was going to say now a big game on Kiski's schedule. It's a win or go home scenario in their next contest. They will face Latrobe. And so Latrobe, obviously, the bottom feeders. I guess the only team really not included in the parity we speak of when we describe this section. They're only 2-8 in section and 6-13 overall. So if all things, I guess, are equal, you would imagine that Kiski, again, if they go there and take care of business, they'll clinch a playoff spot. But again, that's why, in the words of Chris Berman, that's why they play the game.
Yes, sir. And this will move the Cavaliers to 5-6 in the section. I believe that is what, Woodland Hills is at that, and Franklin Regional 5-5. I'm sure both those teams are playing either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, not Woodland Hills. We'll take a quick look there. Good point. Be interesting to see. This, of course, February 9th. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Yeah, they played. Their last game was, of course, against Kiski there on the 7th. They do not play again until the 11th, and that is a contest against these very Indians at Penn Hills. And then it looks like the Wolverines will finish up against Penn Trafford. That one no good. A whistle. You can't.
That one was almost too obvious. You kind of couldn't.
If you couldn't
not
tell,
call that.
If you couldn't tell, Ryan, I didn't want that call to be made. So the whistle blows, and another substitution coming in for the Cavaliers, number 13, and that will be Hutcherson, who will depart, another senior. His final game here on this court. Coming in for him was number 13, Owen Pearson. 42 seconds left.
See maybe a basket or two here from one of our seniors.
This one taken away. An opportunity for a dunk at the other end, and laying it in and missing it. Just too much build up there.
Yeah, Pearson kind of got in his way there.
Those dribbles and those strides down the court probably felt like a lifetime and an eternity there for that young man. Thought he had the breakaway, and I might get his name on the score sheet. Instead, was not the case. 12 seconds left here. Rebound by the Indians. They will dribble it out, and that will do it. And the Indians make a statement here at Kiski area on senior night. The final home game for these Cavaliers. They win by a score of 58-39 here on High Top Sports Network. And we don't have a player of the game sponsor, but as we mentioned to the folks out there, just send us an email. We also have a contact link and on our website, which is of course hightopsportsnetwork.com. So maybe you could be the play of the game sponsor, or player of the game. But how about we do both? Do you have a play of the game and a player of the game, Ryan?
Oh, as far as play, maybe that spike block that Jaden Duggar had, that kind of took the wind out of the sails, you got to think, for Kiski. And you can give a number of different players player of the game. Damar Kelly had double figures. Noah Barron went double figures. Jaden Duggar, I don't think he scored as much, but his defensive impact, was huge in this game. Just a well-balanced team that, hard to put your finger on who the player of the game was, but you could either give it to Barron or Kelly.
Let's give it to both.
Yes.
So the co-players of the game, give it to Noah Barron and Damar Kelly of Penn Hills here as they collect yet another victory and move to 16-3 and 9-2 in conference, while the Cavaliers drop to 5-6, as Ryan mentioned there in conference, and 14-7 overall. Again, not much you can really say there when a team comes out and executes like Penn Hills did here tonight. They're a mighty hard team to beat. Certainly athletic, certainly speedy, can pass the basketball well, and they didn't make too many mistakes. And that is a recipe right there for success, especially when you get into playing 5A basketball and the competition is fierce.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, to make a team like Kiski look so bad tonight, that's so impressive because Kiski is not at all a bad team. They are a very good team, probably headed to the playoffs. You know, they're certainly a playoff caliber team. So to do what they did tonight against Kiski area Cavaliers, certainly so impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point, and that's I'm glad you mentioned that. This Kiski team, just a transformation, and I wouldn't say necessarily overnight, but based on where this program was before Corey Smith got here this season, some lean years and some results that really left this community and the program in particular really yearning for success, and they're seeing it this year as they are a win away from the playoffs, and they have Latrobe remaining on their schedule, and as we mentioned, Latrobe coming in at 16, or as it stands rather, 16-3 and 2-8 overall. Make sure, I'm pretty sure they mentioned that game is at Latrobe, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan. It is indeed. And that's on the 11th, which is 2 days from today.
Yep.
So we will not be there, unfortunately, but best of luck to the Cavaliers as they try to clinch that elusive playoff spot and reach the 5A playoffs. I want to quickly thank all of our sponsors again for their contributions here on High Top Sports Network. Again, we urge you to seek their services out as they make it a point to support your student athletes and bring this broadcast to you wherever you may be here tonight. And to that point, we want to thank you. You have several ways to spend your time, and you choose to spend it with us here, and we couldn't be any more grateful for that. So, Ryan, anything else?
Just to piggyback off of what you said, you know, I haven't really, you know, this is my first year helping out with High Top. Didn't follow a lot of high school hoops last year, so I don't really know about the history of, you know, the Kiski program, but I would say they are certainly, the future is bright. They are in good hands with Coach Smith. Very impressed with what I've seen so far this season.
Yeah, Coach Smith, you know, obviously his last stint as a head coach was at Leechburg. His departure from there, I will not get into, but his last season there, he took the team to a state playoff, and really, any team he coaches, he molds, and that's kind of that top-level mentality. That's several players stretching from, you know, down 28 Pittsburgh area to all the way out to West Shamokin in Royal Valley. Saw two young men that were top-level products in Trevor Smolik and Bo Swartz last night. They both had terrific nights, and you can't be too surprised when you realize those guys too are top-level products. And Corey Smith, top-level coach, and top-notch one at that. So, yeah,
Program is in good hands with him.
Yeah, you have a good evening as well. Fine folks here at Kiski area, always so kind to us, and we are very appreciative of them. So, yeah, about wraps it up. We will have several more games this week. We have 3 on the docket tomorrow, and again, you can see what those games are by hopping on the website, hightopsportsnetwork.com, and make sure, as I mentioned various times, follow us on both Facebook and Twitter to see some other things we've got going on. So, one final time, for Ryan Burns, my name is Joe Rhodes. You have a great rest of your week, and may no train pass you by.